Ooh, it's Monday morning and 3 days till Christmas. 3 days. So I'm going to let everybody get a cup of coffee, get warmed up for Monday morning. Let some people join, see how their week's going to be. If you have to work this week, or you take off the entire week. Anyway, yeah. So that's a way we can start off our morning. There we go. Little weather reports this morning. See how the weather is everywhere. I can tell that I can tell it's close to Christmas. Everybody's sleeping in this morning. Some of you may be actually started your Christmas break vacation. I'm not sure. But we'll find out here pretty quick. Hey, Rebecca. Hey, Plan C. How you doing? Good morning, everybody. Casey just joined. Hey, Casey. How's it going, buddy? I hope you're at home. Hope you made it home for Christmas. Ed's here. Good morning, Ed. Just starting on the second cup of coffee, getting ready. It's cool this morning here. Not cold, but cool. It's probably, 47, 48 this morning, but I think it's going to be into the mid 70s, and we're definitely going to have a warm Christmas day. It's what it looks like. I was just looking. No Bluetail Northerns for Texas between now and Christmas Day. Good morning. Yeah, absolutely. Good morning, everybody on YouTube. Sornia16, how you doing? Good morning. Crystal, good morning. Casey got home off the road Saturday evening. Great. Hopefully you're going to get to be home for a few days. Enjoy the Christmas break. I didn't know how many of us actually, there's a lot of people get to take off for the whole week of Christmas. I don't. Let's see. I'm actually working today and tomorrow and Wednesday. We actually have to work Christmas Eve this year. I'm not really sure why they do that. They started giving us, was it MLK Day instead of Christmas Eve? I would rather work MLK Day and have Christmas Eve off, but it just made a lot of people, thank you, made a lot of people just take the day off. And so since it's one of my very last days to be working for the company, I'm not going to burn any of my paid time off because I want them to pay me for it, and I'll get paid for it at the end. So yeah. And I'm going to work from home on Christmas Eve. Either there's not really much to do. It's just more kind of monitoring to make sure there's no emergencies or major systems go down during that time. But usually the day before a holiday, usually done early anyway, and it's kind of just, like I said, monitoring to make sure there's no emergencies. It's not much work to do. So this year, I'll be working on Christmas Eve, and then I'm off Christmas Day. Again, back on the day after Christmas, and then the weekend, a couple of days the following week. And anyway, yeah. So all of that said, it looks like we're going to have, they're saying Christmas Day, mid to high 70s here in Texas. Jimmy D, how's it going? Good morning. Good morning, everybody over here on YouTube. FGH. Hello. UNC, how are you? I'm fine, thank you. How long is the winter holiday? Well, I don't know. You know, like I said, everybody's mowing God. Good morning, Jimmy D. Can I ask how you got your screen like that? How I got my screen like what? Oh, are you talking about the backdrop, Jimmy? That's actual wall behind me. Yeah, it's not a screensaver. It's an actual wall. Oh, it's sideways black underneath. Oh, okay. Well, Jimmy, you probably hadn't. I probably hadn't seen you. So the difference is with TikTok Studio, I'm actually I went from streaming it from the phone to streaming it from the computer because they made some changes in the TikTok Studio application, and it was easier to do it from the computer. That way it allowed me to stream YouTube from my phone. And then that way, because YouTube actually videotapes the entire live and turns it into a video. So if you were to miss the live, you could go to my YouTube channel and watch the entire live there, or watch a clip of it, or whatever you wanted. So yeah, that's why it's different. The format's different. Hey, Crystal, how's it going? Good morning, Jessica from Wyoming. How you doing? Yeah, it worked out really good. It's really funny too, because with YouTube, when I was using this format streaming YouTube, the live wasn't getting very many views. But when I switched and started streaming YouTube from my mobile device, the views just like shot up and went crazy. So I switched, and what I found out is that, at least on YouTube, a ton more people watch stuff like this from their mobile device than their computer. And I think, and I just hadn't had time to play with it, but I believe you can change the format on YouTube in their software to do the 16:9 too. So I don't know. There's a few things I'm messing with, but this format seems to be doing fine on TikTok, and I like it because I can see more. I can see and read the comments easier and actually respond to them from my keyboard. So yeah. So anyway, so it's 3 days till Christmas. Is pretty much everybody? Yeah, great. Is everybody kind of done? Are you done with all your shopping, and have you got everything wrapped and under the tree? And I think I finished up yesterday, all of my stuff. I think everybody in the house is done shopping. Okay. John and okay, on the clock. 9:30 a.m. Yeah. So, like, I mean, there's, if you're just doing local shopping, but it's, that's great. But if you had to have anything shipped, it was funny last night. The dogs went to barking. I was like, what in the world's going on? And coming down our street were two different Amazon vans there, with each one of them actually had two people on it, and they were out delivering packages. So, I guess that's a good thing that Amazon's got that business and it's providing jobs for people. I had a couple of guys I knew that actually delivered packages for Amazon, and they said, it was they were able to make a decent amount of money, and it was worth them. It was a pretty good side gig, I guess. And so, yeah, John, 9:30, 6:30. Yeah. Twitter to send me a good. Twitter to send you a good person. That's good. That's good, Jessica. So yeah, I kind of feel bad for all the delivery drivers out, but they're really out busting a hump the next few days for sure. And I mean, I know I talked to my FedEx guy, and it's like they're starting 2 hours early, and staying working till like 8 or 9 o'clock at night for UPS and FedEx. So yeah. Anyway. I guess everybody heard that Texas is fired their defensive coordinator, who's been here for 5 years. Not sure why they did, but they picked up one of their old defensive coordinators, who's a great defensive coordinator. Matter of fact, he's been coaching with Georgia for the last few years, and so now he's on his way back to Texas. Even though it's really funny, over the weekend, talking about college football, I watched at some of the games that were played in Tulane. I'm trying to think who Tulane played. I think Ole Miss. And I mean, there was no competition there. They just got spanked. And then the same thing with James Madison. They got beat pretty bad too. And that's where they need to really consider revamping the college playoffs, because those two teams play in a lower division, and then and they were winners in their division, so that's why they got a shot at the national championship. But man, when they have to really play some better competition, there's they just get beat really bad. So those teams have moved forward, and I was looking here. Let's see who's still in the hunt. So it looks like Miami's going to play Ohio State on the 31st. Oregon's going to play Tech. That'll be a good game. Oregon's got a pretty good team, but Tech may come out. That's the Orange Bowl, and then in the Rose Bowl is going to be Alabama, Indiana. And the Sugar Bowl will be Ole Miss, Georgia. That'll be a good game too. I'm picking Indiana over Alabama, Georgia over Ole Miss, because I really think Georgia's going to win it all this year. I might be wrong, but I think they will. And I think the two teams that will play in the national championship, providing that Georgia beats Ole Miss, it'll be Georgia and Indiana. I think those will be the two teams that play. I think Ohio State's going to lose out because, they're ranked number 2, but they're playing number 10. Miami's got a decent team, but I think Ohio State will end up taking them. Is FedEx a union? Yes, in some locations, FedEx operates with a union. In some areas, they do not. UPS is definitely a union. System with family, his own house, a school. Have to get a little better now. Good, Jess. It's a great day. Great, Jess. That's good for you. Never been able to get leave. What she for Christmas? Well, I guarantee you, Casey, she'd rather have you at home than that. My wife's hard to buy for too. She actually told me this year, sometimes she'll give me a list of things to buy, like to pick from. She didn't even have a list this year, so I was kind of out on my own. We don't usually buy each other much anymore. We focus more on the kids and the young ones. It's just funny as you get older. When it comes around to Christmas, I mean, I always heard it when I was a kid that Christmas is really for kids when it comes to the gift giving. I mean, I think you can give gifts to anybody, no matter what their age is. But, as a child, Christmas is a really big deal. And when it comes to the gifts, but as you age, it's just, I think it's because when you're a kid, you can't always buy what you want, because you're a kid and you're not working and you don't have access to the things adults do. But as you get to be an adult, you're able to, buy stuff on your own throughout the year. If something comes up and you need it, well, you just buy it usually. And so when it comes around to Christmas and you may not really have anything that you absolutely need. And so, yeah. And as adults, we have responsibilities. I can attest to that. The AC company is actually coming back out again today. They're supposed to be redoing all the ductwork in the house, and yeah, so that's a fun having a house full of AC guys today, while I'm trying to work from home at the same time. Matter of fact, what they thought they fixed last week was acting up again last night, so I'm gonna have to have them take a look at that too. They replaced a $20 start capacitor. Is probably what they paid for them, because you can buy them on the internet for that price all day long, and they charge $300 to change it out. So yeah, there you go. You think AC companies don't make money doing stuff like that? They do it all the time. Luke, good morning. How you doing this morning over here on YouTube? Iowa. John's in a good place. Good. Great. Would I like to be wealthy? Wealthy. So I always look at money, and a guy I worked for years ago when I was in the coffee business. I used to ask the question when I was younger. It's like, this guy's, because the job that we had, these guys could make as much money. We had guys doing the same job making six figures, and other guys making $30,000 a year, and I couldn't figure out why that was the case. And the guy that owned the company told me that everybody has their own comfort level, and what he meant by that is, if you're comfortable and all your needs are met and you're making $30,000 a year, you'd be totally, that's what you're going to do. You're going to work up to that potential. But if you're not comfortable unless you're making six figures a year, then you're going to work towards that. And he was right. That's just how it was. There were guys that were, would work 4 days a week and They were making, 30, 35,000 a year, and they were totally content. And then other guys worked, 6 days a week, and they were making six figures, and they were content with that. But trying to encourage guys that were making 35,000 that, hey, if you worked one extra day a week, you could make another 15, 20,000 a year. And they just didn't have any drive to do that. So when it comes to being wealthy, what do you call wealthy? I mean, so even I always look at it like this, even people who are billionaires, everybody has their needs, and their basic needs is that you need to be able to feed yourself, have a roof over your house, over your head, pay all your electricity bills, have your retirement funded. If you have all of those needs met, how much more money do you need? I don't know. I mean, I just think that most people are like the guy I work for said is, once your needs are met, you're probably pretty comfortable. And if you can meet your needs and not have to work 7 days a week and around the clock, then that's probably what you're going to do. So I consider that wealthy, and the fact that I always struggle with people who have hundreds of millions of dollars. I'm like, how do they know what to do with all that money? Because their needs are met way before all the money they make. And so, yeah, I don't know. What do y'all think? I mean, what do you think is the right amount of money for your needs to be met? And that means, that you have an emergency fund, you have your retirement funded, you have a roof over your house, over your head. You're able to feed yourself and take care of any emergencies that may come up. Like, the air conditioner breaks, that's $10,000. You're like, okay, I can take care of that. That's what I mean when I say your needs, or you need to go to the doctor, or if all of those things are taken care of, how much money does it take to get you to that point? I don't know. 100,000, 200,000, a million, 5 million, 500 million, a billion. Everybody has a different level, and everybody has different version of what's wealthy. That's just my opinion. Casey, my wife has a trailer. The doc next week. Has to trailer you to the doc next week. Oh man. Yeah. I agree. 100%, Ed. And so, yeah, everybody's oh man, sick horse. No doubt. Wild One, thank you for joining this morning. Yeah, so Mako, hey, how's it going? Huh. Absolutely. Hang in there, Casey. I know it's tough, yeah, unfortunately we all have our trials and tribulations, I guess. Spy Tech. Anyway, so we got, we have 3 days till Christmas. It's I enjoy Christmas, but I'm going to tell you, sometimes it's I also feel a relief when the holidays are over. Just it seems like everything's really hectic a lot of times. The real colors are starting to show in the man mowing God. Horse has an eye infection. We just had to take one of our dogs to the vet for that very same reason. They had, it's just calls from allergies, and then they start scratching, and they actually scratched the cornea of her eye. And so, yeah, $250 later, and some antibiotics and a shot. So, and then of course the dog doesn't like having to wear that cone of shame around their neck, so she can't scratch at her eye while it heals. So yeah, and that's the second dog this year has had that same thing. So I don't know where all the allergy. I think a lot of them are just being outside allergies, but who knows? So did anybody watch the A&M Aggies girl volleyball team? They won the NCAA championship yesterday. First time in history for that team. So it looks like they beat Kentucky 3-0. I just watched the very end of it. Yeah, it's funny, Casey. Vet's a 366. Vet's, I mean, it's as expensive to go to a vet as it is to go to a regular doctor, it seems like. And horses, of course, large animal vets, there's fewer of them. And so, yeah, they can definitely charge. I mean, you can spend some money quick, real quick. Yeah, I kind of wish Trump would go on vacation for a little bit. Maybe if he could just work and not talk, that would probably be pretty good. Angela Potts, how you doing? Thank you for joining this morning. Appreciate it. It's Monday. It's kind of like I think everybody's, even on YouTube, I think everybody's just kind of like, okay, started to take a deep breath. Maybe you've gotten all your Christmas done, and so you got past that. And today's, December 22nd. Tomorrow be one day before Christmas Eve. Always like Christmas Eve. We always go to the Christmas Eve service on Christmas Eve day. And then we do, because we have extended family, we try to, spread Christmas out. So we're going to do one part of the family Christmas Eve night, another part of the family actually on Christmas Day. And then my wife's side of the family, we're going to actually we're not going to get together until the weekend, I think the 27th. And I was voluntold that I am smoking a pork butt. And so it's going to be low key, just being able to gather with the family and have a little barbecue and visit. Hotel corner chair. Me too, Mako. Good morning. Thank you for joining us this morning. I appreciate everybody over here on YouTube. I don't see Kim this morning. Thanks for joining me. I really appreciate that. If I haven't told everybody, everybody have a Merry Christmas. Thank you for all your support. I can't even begin to tell you. We'll be live streaming. Perfect. So the church will be live streaming on YouTube Christmas Eve. So y'all go check that out. I'll definitely do the same. I'm mowing God. Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, I want everybody to have a Merry Christmas. I just want to tell all of you though, and you know, everybody's not on the live this morning, which doesn't matter. I mean, I've sent out messages letting everybody know that I appreciate all the support and, you know, especially the lives here recently. They've really been a plus and helped grow my social media, but also made a lot of new friends, gathered some support through some tough times. And thank you, Hotel Corner Chair. I appreciate that. Thank you for the like. Yeah. And so it's kind of like, you know, we got a little family going here. And yeah. So just thank you to everybody. Because these lives, you know, they really, you know, they don't work unless people interact, and it requires, they really require a lot of input. They'll want a new horse trailer for Christmas. Woo! Yeah, those horse trailers can get expensive. Sometimes though, you can pick a really nice one up if you can find an auction where they're doing it. A Texas posse is happening on TikTok. 10K for one, that's good. Wonder where Chris, I guess Chris is kind of out of the picture, excuse me. He's off today, I guess, or on the road. I haven't seen him this morning. A Texas posse, that's funny. Oh my God, you're hilarious. So let me ask you this, Ed, what's the temp there? Is it, I saw one of your videos and it looked like it was bright and sunny, but I think you said it was like 25 degrees. Ooh, I gotta finish with this car today. Okay. So, you know, on YouTube, they've started a new, yeah, it's just, oh, it's hot. It's actually hot up there, my God. Really? Jezebel just joined. Hey, Jezebel, how you doing? Thanks for joining. Right, you sent me $100. Okay, great, thank you. I appreciate it. You got the semi blocking it, huh? Okay. It's supposed to be 60 on Christmas. Yeah. So maybe we're all having kind of a heat wave. I know they were saying that 79 on Christmas Day here, that it was going to really feel more like a spring Christmas. I think one of the weather guys has said instead of Santa Claus delivering the packages, the Easter Bunny was going to be helping this year. So I don't know, but it's definitely going to be a warm Christmas. Texas has really kind of had what I consider a mild winter so far. But, you know, a lot of times it doesn't really get super cold and stay cold for any length of time until January, mid-January, late January, sometimes February. And then, you know, you can have cool weather through February and March, and then boom, spring's on us again. So, I mean, we need some cold weather just to kill off the insects, the mosquitoes, and some of that to kind of manage that part of it. But other than that, I don't know that we're going to have much of a winter this year. Have any of you had to shop for homeowners insurance this year? It's been crazy. The prices are still pretty high, but definitely encourage everybody to shop around, because it's funny how, I mean, it's confusing on one part. You really have to don't do this. I made this mistake. Don't go online and shop. Actually get, you can go online and get phone numbers, but actually call, because otherwise you will be inundated with text and phone calls. And yeah, don't do that. But yeah, by shopping this, so last year my homeowner's insurance went from like $1,600 and something dollars a year to like $3,700, and I was like, I thought they'd made a mistake, but apparently a lot of insurance companies really went up on their rates last year. So after shopping, I was able to get it back down to around $2,500 a month, still a $900 a year increase. And this year I shopped again. It's not as much savings out there, and they start to play games with your coverage of, what they deem the amount of your property if it were to burn to the ground, what they would pay you to rebuild. And so you really have to compare apples to apples if you're shopping, and I mean down to the very detail. Otherwise, you don't know if you're really getting a true comparison. But what I found for me anyway is there was never any of them that were more than a couple of $100 total apart in price. And usually that couple of $100 was because you were giving up something in the policy to get that lower price. So I just stuck with my current insurance company and renewed for another year. However, when it came to car insurance, I did switch, and you probably don't ever hear this. Most people don't switch to State Farm, but I had Progressive, and it looks like I'm going to be switching to State Farm and moving my 3 cars to them because they came in at $120 a month less than what I was paying. So that's a pretty good savings there. So yeah, independent insurance agent wasn't happy. I did give him the option to try to get that rate, and he said he couldn't seem to find it anywhere. So looks like I'm switching my cars back to State Farm, at least for a while. And I always tell people shop that too, because any more insurance, they're all about them making money and you just paying. Car insurance, what's that? Hey Robert, how you doing? Thank you for joining us this morning. So does anybody else does anybody else have those same issues with car insurance? Do you shop every year? You don't shop? You don't have a car? I don't know. Let's see, what is this? Good morning, everyone. Bubble Guppy's over here joined us on YouTube. Thanks for joining. The tariffs have raised the prices on lumber and steel. Yeah, I know. I really haven't been watching much of that stuff on TV just because I am so tired of listening to it. It's like watching 2 little kids fight in the front yard. Bob did this. No, he didn't. I did that. No, he didn't. You did too. That's what it reminds me of. Sorry, but yeah, I'm on neither side. I'm on the side of common sense, and neither party has any of it. A little patience for people who disrespect presidents. I agree. I'm with you there too. Yeah, exactly. So, that's, when you talk about, when you talk about health insurance, I get so fighting mad. I'm fortunate that I've had a company insurance plan, but I have close friends that don't. I mean, they're in business for themselves. And I've heard the nightmare stories that they've had to, the amount of money they have to pay, and that the coverage is not very good. And a lot of these people have taken alternative routes where there are some doctors here in Texas where you can pay just a monthly fee. And a lot of times it's like a group of doctors that have gotten together, and for $100 a person per month, they will take care of all your medical needs. Now that doesn't include if you have surgery or anything, but I'm talking about if you're sick and you need to go to the doctor, your physicals, all your maintenance medications, that type of stuff, shots, all of that's included in their programs. And I don't get it. If they can do that and make money at it, why can't we do it for everybody the same way? However, I think there's tons of fraud in the current plan. I don't know that I necessarily agree with what Trump's doing either, but he's trying to cut out some of the fraud. But the problem is how do you completely cut something off if you don't have something better to replace it with? And I haven't heard anyone say that they have a better, widget. So, yeah. Anyway, Ed bundles his home and auto with guys. So, I asked that question this year, Ed, because I do have an independent insurance guy, and my homeowners was with a company called Sage Sure, which they are a subsidiary of Safeco. And then my car insurance was with Progressive. And I asked the agent, I was like, well, am I getting any kind of bundling discount that way? Would I be better off to try to, move everything to Progressive? And apparently he said that the little bit of savings that you would get by bundling with either one of those companies, and he was working on a quote from Geico, but they couldn't get there either on the auto. And their homeowners, what basically, and I found this out too, a lot of the major companies will they might give you a lower price for your car insurance, but if they had your homeowners, they're $800 to $1,000 a year more. So you're really not saving anything, and you kind of have to look at the total outgoing money for those two, even if they're two separate companies too. So it made more sense to stay with the homeowners insurance that I had and move my auto to State Farm. That's where I'm going to save the most money for the next 12 months. And then I'll have to do this all over again. And it's a real hassle every year because it always comes due. Like everything, I think my homeowners renews February 1st. But, if you're shopping, you got to start shopping prior to that so that you're ready to go. And car insurance, you can change after 6 months anytime. But I have my car insurance set up for, instead of renewing every 6 months, it renews once a year. So anyway, there you go there. State Farm and least amount of money. Well, there's a lot of people that are like that. State Farm. I was with State Farm for many years. They had my homeowners and auto, and they at one point it just got super high. And so when I think what happened too when I switched from State Farm is I didn't have a very good agent. That I didn't have a warm and fuzzy spending my money with the guy. And then when I'd call, I was getting terrible service. So maybe I just got a bad agent, but I switched, and that was probably 10 years ago, to this independent guy here locally. And I've saved thousands of dollars by doing it. I think the first year I switched my car and auto from State Farm to the independent guy, saved about $2,000. So, and at the time that was a lot of money. Not that it's not now, it is. So yeah, I think I think you have to shop, and I think these insurance companies, they want you to jump around because they don't want all the liability. If they give out really good prices and get all the business, then they also have all the liability when something bad happens, and they don't want that. They want to kind of even out the liability. So if there's a bad catastrophe and it causes billions of dollars worth of claims, they want everybody sharing in the payouts, and they don't want it all to be on one company because it could bankrupt them. Absolutely, Casey's in our prayers. 50 years to serve people. That's great. And that's the thing is, back to the health insurance part of it. I get so frustrated with it. It's like, I don't think you should get a free ride, period. Everybody, and that's like that's taxes too. I don't think there should be anybody that doesn't pay taxes. And that means anybody. If you make if you make $100, $100 million, $100 billion, there should be a flat tax rate and everybody should participate. But that's not how it is. The ultra wealthy have all these deductions that they can qualify for. The lower income poor people don't pay any taxes, or very little, if any at all. But they don't have any deductible. They don't have all those loopholes to go through. And then the middle class, the way they've done our taxes, I mean, it's like here's your standard deduction, and you're going to pay taxes on everything else. And so, yeah, it's always seems like the tax burden falls predominantly on the middle class. They say, well, the wealthy pay they pay the most taxes, but they also have the most money they should pay taxes on. How many billions of dollars do they never pay a dime on? So that's the tax part of it. But the health part of it too is like, I don't understand why. I don't know that having a healthcare plan like Canada and some of these other countries, because healthcare is not free. I mean, it costs something. And somebody's got to pay. But I don't understand why they can't make it much more affordable. When you're sick and you go in the hospital and they want to charge you, $10,000 a day to lay in a bed. I'm like, really? I don't know. I don't have the answer for it. It's really frustrating. Yeah. Well, and when they say our insurance rates are doubling, it's because the government has been subsidizing these independently wealthy insurance companies forever, and he doesn't want to do that. However, I'm not sure that that's necessarily the best way to go about it, because who ends up suffering is everybody who has to pay those exorbitant health insurance rates, me included. So I'm definitely questioning him about his decision there, but I don't know. I don't have the answer. We have a lot of people that, and part of it is, when you open up your borders, you have people come into the country and they're not working, or what they're doing doesn't provide health insurance, and they end up in our emergency rooms, and that costs the taxpayers. And so somebody's paying their bill too. And there's lots and lots and lots of that. So, I don't know. I don't have a good answer. Status quo obviously isn't working. No, you're right. Status quo is not working. And the cure probably is going to hurt. That's the thing. It's like, when they talk about tariffs, I don't necessarily agree with the tariffs, but I understand why he's done some of the stuff he's done, is because we had countries taking us to task, and they are getting a free ride, and all the people in the United States were getting hosed. And so he was like, if you want to tariff our stuff, we're going to do the same for you. But what I also think that he should have kicked in is if you are a U.S. company and you have decided to produce your products outside the United States because labor's cheaper, this, that, whatever the case be, we're going to tariff you, your company. We're going to make it hard on you. Does that make the price go up? Yep, sure does. But hopefully, long term, it'll get those companies to move that stuff back to the United States. And I mean, manufacturing and that kind of stuff does need to come to the United States. And like I said, if you can buy stuff that's made in the USA, I mean, that's kind of even what I call there's things that go, yeah, that's made in the USA. Yeah, but they got all the parts from China. They just put it together in the US and they call it USA made. That's really not USA made. I mean, I guess if it's providing jobs here in the US, that's a good thing. Britain, good morning. Thank you for joining us. But we, the people, got rid of the manufacturing. I know. I know. I agree. I mean, there's some real. There's a lot of things that the Americans have done, and they've basically hurt themselves. Yeah, I don't believe that. I don't think that's. I never thought that was true. If you've ever lived in Texas and South Texas, there is a strong Hispanic population, and if you've ever worked in construction, like home building and other stuff, there's jobs that the Hispanic population does and does well, and without that workforce, your house might not have gotten built. Just saying. And so, I think that we need to have a better way to. American Giant is more expensive, but every part in the process is sourced in the U.S. There you go. And that's what I find for most American-made stuff is. The reason, I don't know, I think people have gotten so used to being able to buy something from China at Walmart for a third of the price. And so, they do. There you go. Well, that's good. Yeah, I agree. Stealing is the wrong word. I don't know. Like I said, I don't have an answer. I think we have to have. I think we cannot have just open borders, but I do think that we should have maybe an easier way to citizenship. However, we can't. I don't want to say that. I'll pass on that one. Just listen to our president. Penguin TT joined. Hey, how's it going? I don't know, guys. I really wish that, I wish there were a lot of things that got better. Hey, Kim, good morning. How you doing? Doug Gliner joined. Hey, I think that's what he's getting to. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Wow, I don't know who that is. I can't read that. Ball 3635. Hey, how you doing? Thank you for joining, Sasha. But so there's so many things in in our government, the president, the Congress, all those independently wealthy. I mean, there's basically three categories in the United States anymore. There's the poor, the middle class, and the ultra wealthy. And unfortunately, the ultra wealthy are the group of people that run the government. And I think they a lot of times want to distract everybody in the middle class and have us arguing over petty stuff while they're going about their way making millions and billions of dollars. And I don't know who to trust anymore, to be honest with you. Toad just joined. Except Jesus Christ. I mean, I can trust him, but as far as people in the government, I don't know. I drank coffee too much. But I still drink coffee. Patrick Bateman, how you doing this morning? Good morning. I drink a lot of coffee too. You got that part right, Ed. That's the only sure thing, for sure. I like it too because, when we have these kind of discussions, and we don't really talk about politics much here. I don't think, for the most part, because everybody has such a wide range of opinions. However, a lot of us feel the same way about a lot of different things. We'd like to see manufacturing come back to the United States. We'd like to see our healthcare system be affordable. I don't think people are trying to keep from paying for it, but I mean, why do you have to work for a big corporation to have health insurance that's affordable? And I mean, think about it. Even, used to, a lot of companies provided health insurance benefits at no additional charge to the employees. It was a benefit that came with working for the companies, but they can't even do that now. I heard just yesterday, one of the friends of mine that works for a school district, and the school district had to go and borrow, I thought he said $5 million to pay their health insurance because they are self-insured, and they needed $5 million to cover all the expenses. So yeah, it's just health insurance is just continually getting more and more and more. We have drug companies making billions. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have a good answer for you. I wish I did. I wish I could flip a switch and our taxes would be under control. The pricing would get better. The economy would get better. Health insurance and healthcare would be better. Wouldn't that be, maybe that's something we all should pray for, because it surely wouldn't hurt. Toad, yikes, what's up, buddy? Thanks for joining us this morning. We give so much money to Israel, and they have free medical. Yeah, I agree. We do. It's hard to, like I said, I don't think anybody's got the answers to all, or the solution to all of that, for sure. So I tell you what, on a lighter note, back to college football, they let James Madison and Tulane University into the playoffs, and they did because each one of them won their division. One of them's from one team's from the ACC, one's from the Sun Belt Conference, and they're playing teams that are just way above their competition level. And so I think they really need to take a look at that, and how they let and pick teams, because they left out teams like Texas and let me see here. I was just looking at that. BYU, they left BYU out of the playoffs. They left Notre Dame out of the playoffs. All of those teams would have given a better games than the games that we saw James Madison play in Tulane. I mean, Tulane just got crushed by Ole Miss, 41-10. I mean, it wasn't even a game. And Vanderbilt was left out too. And I thought Vanderbilt had probably one of the best teams as far as upcoming teams. And they didn't even get a shot. And so, all of those teams that were left out all would have done better than James Madison and Tulane. They might have still got beat, but they wouldn't have got slaughtered like those two teams did. And you could tell right off, both of those games I watched parts of each one, and the competition level was just noticeable from the get-go, that they were outmanned, outplayed, and the opposite team, it was just like a runaway. So, yeah. Texas plays Michigan on the 31st. Yeah, at 2 p.m. Mm-hmm. That might be a good game. I'm going to definitely watch that one. Vandy's quarterback can party. Yeah, he's probably going to go to the NFL if I had to guess. I tell you what, he really that coach and Vandy's quarterback, they really helped that team. That college just struggled with wins and kind of always been the stepchild in the SEC. So hopefully they're on the way back. Still basket in the glow. The Bears beating the Packers. Yeah, I saw that game too. I had a friend that actually went to that game. He said it was cold. June just joined. Oh, what was that? There was something. So you saw the Cowboys got beat again yesterday. I watched the first probably quarter and a half of that game. I thought, well, they come, they're doing what Dallas does. They'll come out and they'll look decent for the first quarter or so, and then they just fall apart. I don't know about them. They can't seem to get their act together. And I have a real hard time being a staunch supporter of them because I don't like their owner. And then the Chiefs, that has been my team. But they had a tough season this year, and now their quarterback's out with an ACL tear in the knee. So, yeah, and they're out of the playoffs too. So they didn't have a good season this year at all. That's funny. I'm reading here where it says Kansas City clinched the AFC West, and the Buffaloes won the East. Huh. Well, they're still not going to be in the playoffs, I don't believe. I believe that last loss put them out of the playoff running. Okay, so here's a real quick question. Everybody let me know. Are you totally done with all your Christmas shopping, or do you still have one gift that you got to pick up? And what's that one gift you got to get? I'm done. I actually got the last one yesterday. Ed's done. Muhammad joined. Hey, Muhammad, how you doing? How about over here on YouTube, 60 Grit Vanderbilt? Yep. Is everybody done with your shopping? Or do you have that one gift you still need to get? I had one yesterday, and I got up and said, I've got to go. I'd been putting it off, and I was like, I gotta go finish that. So I did. You bought your wife a gift for the next 17 years. Wow, that must have been an expensive one, Ed. Every time I think I did something like that, the very next year it's something different. I was like, well, what about? Oh, well, that was last year. Oh, that's too funny. Too funny. What else there was something else I was going to ask. I saw this question the other day. It's like, and this is a survival question. It says, if you were stranded on a desert island and could only have one food, and what you had was a 10-pound fruit cake, how long do you think it would last? So you're stranded on an island and you have nothing but a 10-pound fruit cake. How long do you think that would last? It said three. That was 3 years ago. Did you hear about the Bears loss? Yes, I did. We were just talking about that, Doug. Sure did. Ed's from Northern Illinois, and the Bears beat the Packers. That's kind of like used to Dallas and Washington when they called Washington Redskins. Can you believe this year they're going to actually play on Christmas Day? They're going to play an NFL game on Christmas Day. And I think it's supposed to be on Netflix or something. I don't eat fruitcake either. So here's a quick question. Let's see. If you're in Texas, you probably know the answer to this. If you're outside of Texas, you may or may not know. What city in Texas is the capital of where fruitcake is made? Does anyone know that answer? If you know the answer, put it down in the comments. What Texas city is the capital of the fruitcake? In other words, it's a city where fruitcake is made and distributed in the state of Texas. And it's distributed all over the United States from this city. Anybody know the name of the city? Yeah, I agree with you, Ed. I think that's, that you used to not see any of that, but Casey lives in Texas. He said he doesn't know because he don't eat it. Jacito just joined. Hey, Jacito, how you doing? How about you, Doug, Jessica? Anybody know the name of that city? Nobody? Okay. There you are, Chris. How's it going? Let's see. Let's let Chris see if he can answer the question. Chris, good morning. The question that I just asked was, what Texas city is the capital of the fruitcake? It's made and distributed from that city here in Texas. Does anybody know the name of that city? Nobody seems to know that. It's actually Mahia, Texas, which is northeast of where I'm at. And I know that because I was born there. But there is a bakery there, and they have been making fruitcakes out of that bakery for probably over 100 years. And their fruitcakes are distributed throughout the U.S. Let's see. I'm trying to see if I can remember the name of it. It's been a while. HEB. Everybody says HEB, Walmart. No, that's not the name of it. That's funny. What's the name of Collins Street Bakery is the name of it. Collins Street Bakery. How long does somebody's got a question here? It says, how long does a Collins Street Bakery fruitcake last? Unopened at room temperature, 3 to 6 months. So 3 months at room temperature, 6 months if you refrigerate it, and 12 months if you freeze it. So how about that? But who would keep a fruitcake? We used to do fruitcakes, and they were always like a gag gift because nobody liked them. But when I was a kid, it seemed like, of course, I had a great aunt that lived there in Mahia, and the people that lived in the town, that was a big thing to get a fruitcake from the local bakery. But yeah, that's what they say. 3 months unopened at room temp, 6 months refrigerated, and 12 months if you freeze it. So I guess if you buy two and you give one away as a gag gift, you can freeze the other one and give it away next year. Maybe. So that's nuts. Yeah, I don't like fruitcake at all. And I don't think I even know anybody well, I don't know. Somebody responded, and I believe it was on YouTube, that said that their mother-in-law, it was the question when I asked, would you eat it with your boss if he gave it to you or give it to your mother-in-law? And I think I said I'd give it to my mother-in-law. And the lady said that she loved her mother-in-law and she would never give her that fruitcake because her mother-in-law made a really tasty fruitcake. Not for me. It's just not my thing. I don't like fruitcakes. Haven't seen one in forever. Yeah, they do still make them. It's there's a lot of people that get there's a lot of people that still buy them. Not for me, though. Well, guys, it's 7 a.m. It's still dark outside here, though. But I do have to get to work as long as, if y'all are off for the Christmas holiday, that's great. Looks like we're going to do this again in the morning. And then we're going to take the rest of the week off for the holiday. Give me a break, give y'all a break. You don't have to listen to me. And then we'll come back on, what is that, the 30th? I think it's the 30th. We'll do Monday and Tuesday again next week. And then we'll have New Year's Day and probably take that off, take a few more days off then, and then start the new year. Bears 49ers game next week. The Bears have been doing pretty good this year. I think they've had a decent season. I definitely picked the Bears over the 49ers. I'm not a 49ers fan. We just survived the longest night of the year. Yeah. Well, what was it? I saw in the weather, they said that winter officially started on December the 21st. I was like, well, just depends on where you're at, because it looks like winter's been in the Northeast for a few weeks now, back since November sometime. So anyway, everybody have a wonderful day. I'll be back here in the morning, 5:45, and we'll do this again. And so I will see all of you in the morning. Thank you for joining me today. Come back and let's have some more fun tomorrow before the Christmas break. And then we'll regroup and get through the new year. And then we'll be off and running for a whole new year. So help everybody do well, do something kind today, and be thankful. And I will see you all tomorrow. Thanks for joining me this morning. I appreciate it.